guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a story time video. Yup, a story time. If you like this kind of video and you're into it and you want to hear more stories that I have to tell, then go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below saying like you want more story time videos, because I do have a lot. Now, the story time video that I'm going to say today involves a crazy abusive babysitter that I once had. For the sake of this story time, I cannot use her real name, so I'm gonna use Kangaroo. Her name's gonna be Kangaroo, okay? That's it. We're not gonna discuss the name. Her name's gonna be Kangaroo. Kangaroo used to babysit me when I was in like 4th or 5th grade. I think I might have been like 9 or 10 years, no, not even 10. I was like 8 or 9 years old. So I was young, and at the time of Kangaroo babysitting me, I lived with my dad, stepmom that I had, stepbrother, and sister. Now, Kangaroo might have been like 23, 24 years old when she was babysitting us. So yeah, she was already an adult. She was full grown. Like, she take care of kids, you know, it wasn't some young girl taking care of us. No, she was an adult. So at the time, I lived extremely close to the elementary school that I was going to. So all I would really have to do was just walk home. Now, I wait for my stepsister to meet up together, walk home from school, unlock the door, and go inside the house and lock the door. That was the instructions that my dad gave us. By the time we were outside of the house unlocking the door, Kangaroo was supposed to be there waiting for us to make sure we did the job right. She would take care of us and just make sure we did our homework and we weren't messing around. She could be like on her phone, or she could be doing whatever she wanted. She just had to make sure that we were both doing what we were supposed to be doing. She did multiple things to me in the period of time that she would babysit me and my stepsister. The only thing Kangaroo would do in this time is go outside and she'd smoke her life away. She smoked so much, you guys, so much. My dad would buy a big box of Oreos from Costco. Meanwhile, we were only allowed to eat 2 Oreos. Kangaroo would pull out her own pack of Oreos and eat them herself. And when my stepmother would come home early, she'd notice that, geez, you guys are eating the Oreos like really fast. You guys must like them. She asked Kangaroo, how many Oreos do they eat? Like, they're eating a lot. And she's like, oh yeah, they eat all of them. They eat a lot. I try to tell them only 2, but they'll go in and have a packet themselves. Bitch. I remember her saying that and me hearing that and being like, that is not true. What's her face? Pulls out her packet of Oreos. She pulls out another packet and she gives us each 2 Oreos. I was hungry, my stepsister was hungry, and I said, hey, I want more. She's like, no, you're only allowed to have 2. And I said, that's not what my stepmom says. That's not what my dad says. I remember telling her, why are you eating a whole packet of Oreos and then you blame it on us? I remember as a little girl, this was like my argument, right? I was pissed. I was mad. I wanted my Oreos. I was hungry. Feed me. She's like, I'm bigger than you, so I'm allowed to. And I said, well, my stepmom buys this for us. I'm gonna tell her that we're not eating all the Oreos, you are. She's like, I'm gonna tell your dad that you're not listening to me. She would threaten me like that. It's like, I don't care. I'm gonna call my dad and tell him that you're not letting us eat and that you're eating it all yourself. Sister, I remember her looking at me like nodding her head like, yep, say something, say something. So I get up and I go grab the phone. She snatches the phone away from me. She grabbed my hair, wrapped her arms around it. She knocked me down to the floor and she dragged me across the floor by my hair to my room and threw me in it. And she closed the door. At this point, I was very hurt. My head was hurting like a mother effer, okay? She just dragged me across the whole floor into my room and threw me inside. I'm not gonna say her name, but I was like, stepsister, call my dad, call him, she hurt me. I was crying and crying. She opened the door and she's like, if you don't be quiet, I'm gonna call the police on you and they're gonna take you to jail. And as a little girl, I heard that and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get in trouble. Police? They're gonna take me to jail. You guys. The second my dad came home, I opened the door and she looked at me with a death stare like, if you fucking say anything, I'm gonna kill you. I was terrified. My dad opens the room door and he comes in. He's like, what happened? And I tell him, my dad, woo, my dad was fucking pissed. He called her on the phone and he told her in a nice calm voice, hey, can you come back? And she comes back to the house and he's like, did you just drag my daughter across the floor? She's like, no, oh my God, I would never. What? Is that what she's saying? I don't think my dad called the police or got the police involved in this situation, but he definitely scared her off. Like, he gave her like a mouthful over fucking Oreos. Oh my God, you guys. Now, I remember there was one day that she's like, hey, I'm gonna call blah, 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 blah. Like 2 or 3 other little girls. Not little girls, but they were like 16, 18 years old. I didn't know who they were. She calls them and her boyfriend drops them off. This is where the story gets a little fucked up, okay? I remember those 3 other girls come. One's like 16, one's 14, and the other one's like 13, right? Now, I don't know for you, but I've never met these girls, and neither has my stepsister. Never met them before. You guys. She tells us to all take off our clothes and get in the shower. At that age, I was like, I don't want to take a shower, and I don't know these girls. Why would I shower with them? And they're immediately getting undressed and hopping into our tub, and they're all naked. Now, keep in mind, I ended up getting undressed at the time, and I was nervous. I didn't want to go in, and I kept covering myself. I was like, no, like, I don't know them. I don't want to go in the bath with them. She's like, get in there. I'm going to tell your dad that you don't want to take a bath. And I was like, okay. So I remember hopping in, and I sat down, and like the other girls, they're like developed already. Like, they got stuff going on down here, and like, I didn't at the time. So for me to see that was like very odd. Now, this wasn't even a bath, first of all. There's like 4 or 5 girls in the tub. All little girls, okay? This lady, the babysitter, Kangaroo, is up against the wall, and she's watching us. She didn't say, hey, this is a bath. Put soap into your hair. Wash your body. Clean behind your ears. Did you get your hair wet yet? Like, no, nothing at all. She didn't say nothing like that. Instead, she was sitting out there and she was on her phone. She tells us to smile because she was gonna take a picture and send it to her mom. I was not having that at the time. And I remember when she said that, I sensed like something was wrong. That is not okay. Why is she trying to take pictures of us? The other girls were like developed already, and they're all like posing like this and like taking a picture. And I remember being there, and I was like hunched over, and like I covered myself. I covered my parts. I didn't want to be like, what's going on? Why does she want to take a picture of us? And I'm like, I'm getting out. I don't want to do this anymore. She's like, okay. She tells me, you can get out. And she keeps taking pictures of the other girls. You know what, I can't even say what I think she was doing because it bothers me that much. So I'm not even gonna say it. You guys could assume what you want to assume. Everything that she did was wrong. I hope that she never, ever, ever in her life gets the chance to take care of another little girl or little boy, because, like I said, I don't want to think about what she possibly could have been doing with those pictures of us and her boyfriend. Like, who was that guy? Who was he? Who were those other 3 little girls? Like, I can't believe to this day that I was dragged across the floor, like the whole kitchen floor, across the like hallway down into my room and thrown in there. So yeah, you guys, that concludes my story. I know it was a little bit choppy. It might have been everywhere, but I've actually like never really talked about this story before, so it's kind of odd that I'm bringing it up here on YouTube for like the world to see. But yeah, you guys, if you like this story time, please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. The thumbs up just lets me know that you guys enjoyed it, or that you guys want to hear more story times. Leave me a comment down below of what you guys want to see next, or has anything similar to this story ever happened to you? Let me know, because I would love to read your comments about it. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me your comments down below of what you guys want to see next, and I'll see you then. Okay, bye.